Hello and welcome to another Magic Toaster video. Today, got a wonderful treat for all of my special fans. I'm going to be having a little story time about my time in basic training. Because I don't know if you already know this about me or not, but yes, I was in the Army. I was airborne infantry. Now, I joined back in 2008. Going through college, and I just kind of wasn't making it. Being kind of lazy. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to join the military. I'm going to set things right. I'm going to get myself together and just go. So I talked to a recruiter, told him, hey, I want to be infantry. And he's like, oh, okay. He brought me through all the stuff and ended up bringing me into MEPS and doing my ASVAB, and apparently I got a pretty high score. If you wondered what I was going to be doing in infantry. Keep going. Yeah, I wondered what I was going to be doing in infantry. So he kind of convinced me to sign up to go for the Special Forces program. Become an 18 X-ray and, go straight from basic training to airborne school to go down the selection process for Special Forces after all that. So after they finally get you in and they brought me down to Fort Benning, Georgia, because I was infantry. That's where every infantryman goes. They start you off in the hold area, and I think we were there for 2 weeks. It's basically where they give you all your equipment, all your clothes, and all your shots, do all your paperwork. They've got you right there. It's kind of easy to do. I had no idea what the heck I was getting into back then. I don't have any really the Army or anybody talks about the military or whatnot in my family. So I was kind of going to all this blind. That was fun. But it definitely opened my eyes when you're in a group of a couple hundred guys doing push-ups in one tiny little area. Yeah, I think the craziest thing that happened to me there was when I got my shot. They give you this thing called the peanut butter shot. It's basically the penicillin shot that goes into your butt cheek to clear out. Basically, just clear you out. Apparently, I must be allergic to it. My body went into shock because right after that, I started going into tunnel vision, getting real weak. Everybody's voices started to muffle, and I started to sweat profusely. I didn't want to go get the drill sergeant because I didn't want to get yelled at for dying on him. So I just kind of clung on to the guy in front of me for a while until it went away. And thankfully it went away before I went to the next station. The next lady was very confused as why my shirt was all soaked with sweat. Considering it was like 60 in the room, we were wearing t-shirts and shorts. Now, when they finally get you into actual basic training, they bring you out there on a bus, and first day when you first meet you guys, it's called a shark attack. So basically what happens there, the drill sergeants are all waiting there by the bus, and once the doors open, they get out and start yelling at you. You have no idea what the hell's going on. It's all a big confusion type thing. And they made us run down a hill. One guy tripped and landed on his face going downhill. He was no longer seen. And they bring us to this big pavilion or wherever the kind of outdoorsy enclosed area is. Make us all and basically made us all carry our laundry bags above our heads. And if you touched your heads with your laundry bag, and they would take it and throw it into the woods. Basically all the stuff would dump out, making it as miserable as possible for people. Thankfully they didn't bother with me. I was securely somewhere in the middle of the pack. And after all of that, they got us to our actual platoons and got to do more push-ups. We were in the sand pit until about 10 o'clock at night, doing low crawls with our full, army uniform on. Sand got in the sleeves and everything, so you're all sweaty. Sand. The sand is everywhere. And after they thought that we were done with going around the sand for a bit, they're like, alright, everybody go in the bay and go toe the line. We had no idea what the hell toe the line meant. So some people decided that it meant to take a shower. So we just kind of went with them. And, the drill sergeants came in. They were none too happy. Because towing the line meant standing right in front of your bed. Like there's a line to where your bed's supposed to be at. And you're supposed to put your toes on that line. So they made us get dressed. And they, made us get dressed. We went out to, guess what? Go sand some more. We actually had one guy say he wanted to quit. He just stood up. He's like, I'm done with this. I can't do this anymore. On day one, night one, that is not the thing to do. To anybody who's going into basic training or any type of military thing, yeah, don't quit basic. That is the worst. That is the last thing you want to do. So, sergeants get on him, get on his case. All they do is tear off his flag on his uniform and says that he doesn't deserve it. That was interesting. Yeah, that guy didn't do so great. That was a good start there. And we also got to learn about the wonderful thing that is known as half-right face. The first few weeks of the basic training is basically them just making you physically fit, whether you want to or not. They would pretty much just smoke you all day. Not really sure if there was any learning going on other than just being terrified, because they just seemed to come out of nowhere. Yell, platoon, attention, half right, face, platoon, rest position, move. And we'd do push-ups for a long time. But, it kind of taught me that this too will pass. Like, this horrible time will, eventually it's got to end. So, it gave me a little, gave my perseverance, my go-to attitude. Although the main thing that got me through it was thinking about going to the DFAC and going to get something to eat. Cause, some of wonderful bouncing rubber eggs. So delicious. One of the things you have to do whenever a drill sergeant walks into the room, or any non-commissioned officer, you have to yell at ease and basically go at the position. Parade rest. Until they say, until they say carry on. That's it, yeah. Sorry, it's 15 years ago. Oh yeah, and finally, the times I would be having dreams of them yelling at ease. Even one time, someone said at ease in passing, and it made everybody yell at ease because we were just so on edge. I had to even find myself at the position of attention or parade rest while in my bed. My mind, the drill sergeant came in, so I better be prepared. One thing I did enjoy doing was writing letters back to home. Since you can't call or do anything. And it kind of got my mind off of stuff. I think I pretty much just wrote down what we did that day without any other real substance. Now, I do remember my sister telling me that I sounded different while writing than while talking. I'm not really sure what that meant. I think it meant that I wrote better than I talked, because I am not a very good speaker, or I have not been a very good speaker for a very long time. Only recently have I learned to actually talk somewhat normally, because I'm not trying to listen to my own words as I talk anymore and have that anxiety. And when finally we got our rifles, our M4s, and white phase, 3 phases in I think basic training, red, white, and blue. And I will say that I'm a big fan of machinery and stuff like that, so firearms are right up my alley of my special interest. Happy to be able to shoot something. I've only fired a handgun before, so all this is kind of new to me. But it did turn out that I am apparently a good shot. I was able to get expert. I think the highest I got was 38 out of these. They told me that I needed to teach other people how to shoot. I didn't know exactly what I was doing. The only thing I knew I was doing was you breathe out, put the red dot on the target, and you pull the trigger. And at the end there, for our final round of qualifying, I had to give some other guy 6 extra bullets so he could possibly get expert. I don't think he did. I still passed somehow. I obviously couldn't get expert. Let's see. What else? Oh yeah, and I had a guy who really tried to bully me. He was like a selected team leader in the platoon, and it's like he would, I don't know, just come over to say nasty things to me, and I'm like, what the hell? What am I doing to you that you need to come bother me? There was one time when, in the morning everybody had to do some sort of chore. They'd switch off what team did what. I guess there was a pile of dirt that someone slept in. It happened to be right in front of my bunk. And he told me, he's like, oh, who left this big pile here? oh, it must have been pneumatic toaster there. Dude, I'm like, what the hell? I didn't do that. Like, what's your problem? Then he ended up trying to, I guess, intimidate me and cut in front of me in lines and whatnot. Yeah, the time he tried to do that in formation, he's like, oh, you know, I have to be in front of you because I'm the team leader, which we never did before. Like, no, go left yourself. Kept on persisting until I just shoved him on the ground, and he didn't really bother me after that. Apparently, you have to use violence. Violence was the answer. And it was like, I didn't really talk to that guy ever. I still have no idea reason what what was wrong with him. Well, I never had to deal with him again. I got to experience my 24th birthday while doing land nav. We were already kind of far into it. I think we were in the last phase already. Georgia in August to November is very hot. I think it's very cold. Yeah, they had me pair up with this other guy to do land nav. Now I'm actually pretty good at it, where like I can see the land structures where stuff's at, and I kind of don't even need to use. Kind of trying to blast through it while this guy, they gave me this short little fat guy. He wasn't wanting to keep up. But come on. Done. I'm walking normally. Why are you 100 feet behind me? We got this far. You shouldn't be that out of shape. But he was. But, it was an alright birthday. Being that it was in basic, there was definitely worse days that I could have had it on. Yeah, I think we ended up running into some later on they've got like classes for becoming a staff sergeant or sergeant whatnot, like leader courses. They happen to have some of those guys out there, and it was so weird having some people who were, the same rank as our drill sergeants, just like shooting the shit with us, just like speaking normally. Like, oh, did you get this point? Oh, it's like, this feels weird. I feel very uncomfortable. Got to do some cool things in the basic training. We were doing the explosive stuff. I got to blow up one of the claymores, which I was very happy about. And then I never got to touch a claymore ever again. Just like doing hand grenades. That was the only time I ever touched a hand grenade. And oh yeah, 50 cal and 13, whatever the grenade launcher is. The only times I actually ever got to shoot any of them there. Even though later on I was in the mounted unit and they just didn't put me on the 50 cal. They put the scrawniest guys who couldn't shoot anything on there for some reason, and whatever. Thankfully we never had to use those. I got through it without all that. And we had to have fire guard every night. Basically 2 people just staying up and making sure that, nothing's going wrong, and to do laundry at night. Because that was the only time we were able to do laundry is during fire guard. You had to have other people do it for you. We had this one guy who, I guess his dad would beat him when he was sleeping, and he kind of got this weird habit of grabbing anybody who touched him while he was sleeping. He tried to strangle some guy, so we ended up just having to throw pillows at him. and he would strangle the pillows until he woke up. He's like, oh, okay, fire god, all right. It was odd. He ended up making it into the Special Forces, I believe. He was a big old Southern boy. And it's actually what, I went to basic training with a bunch of people who were either going for the Special Forces selection thing like I was, or signing up for going into Rangers, and I believe the rest were filled out with National Guard people. So we actually had a lot of people who were in shape and like knew what they were doing. We had a lot of people who knew what they were doing. So a lot of people were really in shape already, and like had a bunch of people, their family members were all in the military, so they all knew what was going on. Unlike me, I had no idea what was going on. I was kind of winging it as I go. We know that's my specialty. Wing it until you fail so many times that you statistically have to win. Aw, default. I ended up having, after I became a sergeant and a team lead myself while in the 82nd Airborne, I had the other team leader. I was one team leader, too. He actually had the same thing where he tried to defend himself while waking up. And it's just interesting to me. I kind of wake up and go, hey, where the hell am I? I'm confused as they try to fight. It's interesting. You meet a whole lot of different people in the military. And after since I was in infantry, there's, infantry does the AIT kind of all in one, where normal people, they take basic training and then they would, take some other leave, and then they go to their actual AIT where they learn their skill for what they're doing. For infantry, the AIT is only like 4 weeks long, so they just have the same drill sergeants to teach infantry stuff because they were all infantry anyways. And they give you a 36-hour leave from basic. All I did was end up going to have some steak and sleeping at a hotel room. That's about all I did. I just wanted to relax. Yeah, I decided that he wanted to just leave. He went AWOL. He didn't come back. And it's the same guy who quit the first day that went AWOL. So we kind of saw it coming. He was also failing, or he wasn't doing so good on the PT test and whatnot. But it's just kind of sad. It's like, dude, yeah, don't try to do that. Don't quit basic training and don't go AWOL. It's only gonna lead to bad things. Just do your contract. Life will be so much better for you. Yeah, they ended up catching the guy, and I think he stayed there for the rest of the infantry stuff too, just having to work. Oh yeah, we have to do our final mission and stuff, and the freezing cold in November. But after you're all done with that, they bring you out to this one giant ceremony type thing, where there's these big pallets. These big wooden pallets that are just on fire. It's pretty cool to see as the middle of the night, you're super tired, you just walked a couple, I forget however many miles of your stuff, and it's just like, you've made it. You're done. And it is such a relief. They had, big, had like loud metal music blasting and all this fire and chanting, and they finally got us all, or they lined us all up and gave us all our cross rifles. We were officially infantry, and it felt kind of nice. I even had a piece of cake, I think a day or two after we got our cross rifles, and I still got yelled at by one drill sergeant. The hell told you could do? The guy's like, they're done. Who cares? I thought I was going to get smoked after we were all done. Thankfully, my drill sergeant saved me. Yeah, in the end, though, I did end up just going to the 82nd Airborne because, yeah, I kind of didn't want to do SF anymore. Didn't want to do Special Forces training. I really don't have the heart for it. Even now I realize that was the correct thing to do, was not go with them, because I wouldn't have made it. I don't have that type of self-motivation that they do. Like, you have to be a very good, well-rounded person to want to go to be, and then the Special Forces thing. Like, you can't just be some regular Joe Schmo dummy, or be some autistic guy who just has a hard time wanting to get out of bed. So, yeah, instead of going to Italy like I wanted to, because we already did airborne, so they're going to put you in an airborne unit. The Army's gonna make sure that the money they spent on you was well used. It was kind of funny going from my, the out processing place for all the Special Forces stuff, and walking about 50 feet into the 82nd Airborne, like, introductory thing, like, where you sign in for the entire division. Yeah, I would say that it really wasn't all that hard. It was definitely mentally and physically exhausting. Like, it's tough, but it seems tougher than it probably what it actually is. Yeah, you kind of realize, like, what you can actually do. It's something that, like, in the civilian life, you're never going to experience. Like, that sort of, I don't know, those mind games and just having to be that physical, and yeah, you kind of learn different ways to survive. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like people always say when I talk about my military stuff, I'm like, it was the best time of my life, and it was the worst time of my life, both at the same time. I think that's about all I got to say about basic training for now. If you would like any more, I could probably think up more stories. Definitely more not safe for work stories. Talking to their wonderful comments they make to everybody. But yeah, if any of you are watching that are military, yeah, leave a cool story down in the comments. I'd love to hear it. Or if you just like the story, let me know what you liked. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna keep on doing some more story times like this. It's kind of fun, just reminiscing about things and having all my stories immortalized on the internet. So until next time, I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.